My head felt like it was down.
Normally, the way she's propping, I wouldn't, if I was giving someone a whole lesson, I wouldn't allow that.
All right.
No, you can
Okay.
watch, I get it, you're just here for the ride, but I want the spine as even as I can. I always prop the pillow to release the hips. Prop the knees. I don't even use like even a big soft pillow under the head, just because I can't get around. I try and use as more of a flat, but that's just a side note. So I'm just going to lift her foot up. And first of all, one of the easiest things you can probably tell is she's helping me. And she shouldn't. I usually tell people I charge them money if they help me. But especially if people are firstborns, it's really hard for them to not want to, put their foot up. Or if they're generally, their line of work is that they're a helper, they'll be like, here's my foot, here's my hands, you know what I mean? And sometimes you can get them past it, and other times you just have to say, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. So you'll notice with people's feet that they're completely different. You'll probably see it more if you stand on this edge with her. Now it's going to be a little bit harder again because her head's so propped high, but that's okay. Yes, just lie down for a second. So if you want to evaluate, now first of all, an easy trick in our work, do you see how her nose is pointed to this foot? If you look this way, you'll see it. Yeah, we're really going to pick on you. I don't normally do this when I'm just working on somebody. So you see here how the nostrils want to go to one foot versus the other?
Yeah.
Do you see that? Yeah. So usually that the nostrils are pointed to quote the standing leg. Now for the most part, but not always, if the person's right-handed, then the standing leg is the left leg, and vice versa. But in her case, her standing leg to her should be this foot. And so sometimes I'll guide but around, but you can really see how the head shape is especially from this angle, it's quite different than when you look at someone straight on. So again, that's just a parlor trick. Another thing that could be a factor too, if she's got a scoliosis. Scoliosis gets a bit more obvious if you see that the shoulders a little askew when they're laying down. I'm not going to pick you up and do a whole lesson because we're just going to do the feet and touch. I'm just talking about parlor tricks. The one thing to really watch out though for is you'll see someone, and just tilt your head a little bit to the side, left or right, I don't care. But nose to the ceiling. Okay, you'll sort of see this. Now if I were to take a line like this is really dangerous. They're no longer protecting your central nervous system. A lot of people, now, the one thing to watch out for is if they have hearing loss, because let's say if her left ear was her good ear, she might automatically be kind of doing this to hear you or whatever, but you can put your head back to where it was. But for whatever reason, it's going to be really hard. They're going to have a lot of memory issues, a lot of hard-term learning, because again, the head's not as connected as it needs to do with the body. But if I actually were to pick that head up and put it straight, that would seem, you can put your pillows back down. That would seem really weird to that person. If you notice too, when I work on someone, I don't correct them. However they lie down, unless, like I said, something like this, I'll question why the neck needs to be so jacked up. Usually only see this if a person has a kyphosis or dowager's hump that they need the head protected. So I don't care which foot I work on, unless you have a preference. So I usually go with the lighter foot. Usually I stick with the easiest. You want to make the system, the part of the system that's most efficient, make it more efficient first, and then so the side that's not as efficient goes, hey, what's going on over there? So I'm moving my seat just slightly, but it's like pool. I want that direct line of sight. So for me to now have my energies over here, it's being diffused. So my touch, I'm actually going to pull on the hips by here instead of this where I'm more in direct contact. So when I go to approach a foot, I'm coming in just as if I'm just going for a scoop. Same thing. I always, for the most part, use two hands. And what I'm going to do now is, first of all, I'm trying to correct to bring the foot into a stand. So see how, and you can feel it that the foot wants to tuck in. That's not saying that's the way the person stands. This is how she is relaxed at this moment. And I mean at this moment. We can change immediately from this or from another event in her life. This is how she's presenting at this moment. So 2 things I'm going to do is that I bring the foot over. And again, I'm still checking her out, or at least to show you. I wouldn't, again, normally do this because nothing that I do is forced. So if I actually force that foot into a right angle, you can feel that in your hip. And you can see how much the thigh has to get engaged for her to do that. And if I do the foot to a right angle, you can feel the strain in the glutes and the strain through the foot. So if I can get a strain going just with her lying down, then her just standing up, it's pulling on the back somehow. So that's how you can start seeing what's going on in the foot, making conversation through the rest of the system. Because we're a system. Even though I keep saying we're working on the foot right now, I'm working on her wrist, I'm working on her chest cavity, all through here. So now I'm going to get to work. So you can start with the foot like this because I'm on the floor. I wouldn't be at this position if I was on my table because then, again, if I'm looking for direct contact. But again, I'm not touching. I'm not doing any of this kind of where I'm just touch. You know, she's not the Pillsbury Doughboy, or I guess you don't have those kind of commercials here. I don't know. You know, I'm not looking for that kind of, my touch, I'm going right into the base of the ankle. Again, you don't have to know anatomy, it's just where the foot starts to increase or crease in. But I'm going to just start rotating. But you can just watch the knee and the hip. I'm working on her system as well. See the thigh, the femur is going, the knee is waving or flagging. But I'm not here right now at this kind of touch level seeing what she's capable of doing. So I'm not going, go lead, let me see if I can do this. Nothing is grandiose. I'm just going for rotation. And what's just started happening, you can see it more so because her hip and the knee is flagging, but she's starting to come over her heel. What I'm going to do with her foot is I'm going to feel it up, and then you guys can come in and compare one foot to the other, see what even just feels nicer to you guys. Like I said, right now I'm just showing a lesson. You can see more and more how the leg is responding. The reason, again, see the twist. If she was lying down flat, you could see at this point the chest responding more, but her head's up, but that's no biggie. So I can come underneath, same thing. See how my fingers, again, rotate around. But see how I'm having a conversation with the heel at the same time. I know this is probably going to seem really fast at the moment, but trust me, you guys will all get it in a second. Because right now, like I said, I'm just giving her a lesson. And I'm rotating. So now at this point, I'm starting to apply pressure into her hip joint. See what I mean? You can see now the chest cavity. So by the way, just so I go over here, see, I'm not getting the same system response, as I am here. And by the way, this is standing. This is working on standing. So already the benefits that, that your son would have, or anyone would. But can you see the amount that the hips being worked on from this position? Does this make sense?
What are you doing underneath me?
Most people think stand is from this part of the arch, the dead center. But actually when I do that, if you can see, it's making some impact, but really my energy is kind of going off here. kind of right in, and this is just something I'm going to be teaching in a second. Everyone's going to react differently because of the way I was talking about how that heel starts to cantilever. So again, if you go over to this foot, see you're not seeing that heel wag at all versus here now already. So you find the spot where it's more balanced, and again it's a rotation, but I'm giving more impact into the pelvis, and you can see where the pelvis is changing. Yeah, sorry, you are laying down on tile. I can pull.
That's fine, but also I'm noticing is that you brought attention to where my head was just now. Like now that you're working on here, I'm feeling like I need to readjust myself. You know what I mean? So
Well, not only that, but what'll start to happen if you do have a scoliosis, you'll start to feel crooked. Because what it is scoliosis is the brain saying, this is straight. So when you start to straighten out, your brain first goes, well, wait a minute, that's crooked. And then it'll have to re-sort itself out and find where the new straight is.
okay.
But yeah, that's the whole point. This is what you're now feeling is the benefit that Shannon's getting. Because I'm working on standing. See how you're readjusting your head? So that's when people go, well, she needs her head worked on. We need her head worked on. And I'm like, that comes from here.
Yeah.
You have to look at the human body like a house. If you don't have a good foundation,
Yeah.
the rest is just, you know what I mean, like a house of cards. This is all the reason why, too, lack of gravity. If I had you in standing and I was trying to improve your foot function, now I'm dealing with the whole rest of your issues, where here I can just work on your foot.
Yeah. Okay.
So, not to say that I don't want to work on the rest of your issues, and I'll show standing towards the end, but. So again, you can see now, I'm doing circles with the foot, and it's through the hip, and it's through the chest cavity, her nose, everything is and I can get faster. I haven't changed my grip, but it's getting faster. And again, just to show you here, see, I can't pull her leg, I can't. I mean, I can, but not to the quality that this just did. So, do you want to go do a marathon with this foot or with this foot? So with that, I know it's just a quickie, but like I said, I'm going to teach you now next. I'm going to leave her here so they can feel you up if they want to. And then I'm going to start really showing very specifics, and then we're going to work on each other. Is that good so far?
Can I just add to that? Like, I know when I'm watching it, and this is probably just because I've felt what it feels like,
Right.
it looks like it's quite a firm,
Yeah,
hard
it's
touch.
Right.
It's really not. Like, it feels, I think that's the big thing, and feeling that touch, like, makes the world of difference. It's everything's well supported, but there's no poking and kind of harsh movements at all. It's really just kind of riding with that body and foot and everything. It does look, when I'm watching it, a lot harder and firmer, you know. But it's
I do have to go a little bit harder because she's a full-grown adult.
for sure.
But it's still not like I'm not, looking for the crystals on the foot,
Like, like, say, working on chin, so, like, I have a lying down, start working on a foot, like, do I sort of look and think, okay, now I want her heel to come over, because I don't know that.
You do want to think it, but just because it doesn't happen doesn't mean she's not benefiting.
Yeah, but how do I kind of process, like, you know what I mean, like you said, okay, now look at the hip. And,
Well, you'll probably understand that a bit more as we start working on each other. So before you start playing with it, if anybody want to feel up her feet.
But it sounds.
Surgical gloves.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a sink back here, sorry guys. And you don't feel pushing in or whatever. You don't have to push in perfectly, but just, there's a tonus, there's a response that's just different. Now she'll start to change just being felt up like this by every one of you, so.
I love your choice of words.
What?
Feeler.
No. Notice how it's almost, you're confused even where to put your hands.
Yeah.
Because it's
It
just
just
like,
doesn't feel.
yeah. Do you see even the quality of her touch from one foot to the other?
I like your left.